Good morning, my friends. Earlier this week we made these very cool floating pockets out of envelopes. So it's in case you didn't see the video, it's a triple pocket, a single envelope. We've got a pocket on the back, and then we've got this little pocket on the side on the front, and this bigger one here on the front. So I thought today we're going to make some ephemera to go in these triple pockets. There's 3 pockets, and they are, I think, more suited to be a floating pocket, something you would put in a belly band or inside another pocket or tuck spot, or clipped in with a wee paper clip, altered paper clip, other sort of clip. You get the gist. So I'm going to pop those aside for a moment, or a good moment, because I really want to start by making a masterboard, and it feels like forever since I've made a masterboard. So I've got a bunch of scraps here from the papers that I've done other projects with, including the multi-pockets themselves, and all the other papers from, this is the pattern pages, I think, the pattern pages kit. And I'm using this one as opposed to the others in the range. This is Winter Bounty. Sorry, I did not say Winter Bounty from the Junk Journal Studio. Because these ones are printed on copy paper. The other ones I've all printed on presentation paper, so it's a heavy paper. And these ones I accidentally printed reduced size because I didn't check my printer center settings. So like there's extra white around the edges that wouldn't normally be there. So those are the ones I've chosen to do a masterboard with. So to start with, I'm just going to grab the scraps that I've already got, and then we can grab from other pages as we need. So I'm hoping to knock off the masterboard fairly quickly. I'm going to try and not be too worried about choices or anything like that. I'm going to try not to overthink it. And I'm going to go for straight edges. Whether it's torn or cut, this one's cut, I'm not worried about. I just think I'll go with straight edges today. Now, I don't want big sections. I'll take a bit off that. So let's get some gluing happening. Oops, grab my current glue stick. I grabbed out another glue stick in case I run out. So I did think ahead just a little bit. I think we'll be fine on this one, but I thought, well, I envisage I'll be doing a lot of gluing, so we better just prepare in case I run out, because if I run out, it's not so easy to grab while I'm filming. So how are you, my friends? Are you having a good day? I'm feeling quite motivated today, which is really lovely. I've really suffered lately from, I don't know if it's lack of motivation necessarily, but just, I don't know, been in a bit of a funk. And in some respects I've been in a funk. Others I've been excited and overjoyed. I think my problem is I'm just tired. I think that's how I could sum it up. I am just tired. And you know, it's hard to kind of make progress on anything or concentrate on things when you're tired. So, and I'm tired today, like, don't get me wrong, I am tired today, but I'm feeling like I want to get some stuff done. So, do it when you feel the urge, eh? Because it doesn't always play ball. I know I put that in a different place to what I'd tried it, but that's okay. You want that one there. Maybe this bit in the opposite corner from that bit. I'm going to go through a zillion glue pages, I think. But that's all right. That's what they're for. It's going to be a beautifully cohesive masterboard with these papers. Going to be very pretty, I think. And my background here is a piece of quite thick paper. It's like bond thickness, quite thick. with this beautiful creamy colour with a very soft black fleck through it. I just love this paper, and I'll be sad when I run out. I will indeedy. But so far I have still got some. I'm not sure how much I've got actually. There might be hopefully some hiding somewhere else in a different box or something, I'm hoping. Oops, we've got some funky glue edge happening there. Let's tear that off. So I'm going to try and fold these ones that I'm going through today, the glue pages, in half to use as journal card bases, because I stopped collecting them for ages. Haven't collected them. I've just been binning them because I had more than enough. But I think I'm going to keep today's ones because I have been using the odd one out of my bin. This isn't a white edge, but there's no grid on that edge, so I'm just going to put it around that way. So if we cover that, that's all fine. Let's make a smaller bit of that. It's the same piece as this, but just a slightly subdued, more subdued pattern. Maybe we'll put it in that corner. So hopefully you've got your scraps out and are doing a bit of collage with me, having a nice bit of creative downtime. Just gluing paper down is very therapeutic. Just grabbing scraps, laying them down, and putting them into something that can be useful. And downsize your scraps at the same time, you know. We all have all those scraps, don't we, typically. Here's a nice wee strip. Put it there, I think. So I didn't need to do a master board for this project, for the ephemera, because there are lots of pieces of ephemera in the ephemera kit for Winter Bounty, and I will use some of those as bases, but I just wanted to take care of some of the scraps that I had from the papers, so I thought, well, why not do a bit of both? Do a masterboard and then use some of the kit ephemera. Oops, we've got a bit of white on that. Let's get that white off. Now, is it still long enough for that gap? Yes, it is. Just about perfect, actually. It's quite sticky. Still patches I can use, but for a long piece like this, it kind of travels all across the sticky bits. So I'll just use a new page for this strip. Yep. I'm already got such sticky fingers. Doesn't take much, does it? If we all get gummed up. They're just such pretty papers. They're so pretty. Right, this is a scrap, which I haven't used much out of, so we'll take just a bit off there, and maybe we'll make it fit that gap there. Can I fit this on here somewhere? Actually no, it's the glue marks are every which way, so I'm just going to fold it, put it aside, go back to this one. I just don't want to be dealing with glue marks on the front of my papers. They do dry, but you know, I just not up for that mess today. Not up for it. Here's this larger piece that this was a scrap of. So tear the white off. That's going to go wrong if I try and do it on top of that lumpy bumps. Might as well do this side as well. Right, bring back the masterboard. Let's put a section in there. So I'm moving quickly. I'm trying to get this through this as quickly as possible so we get on to some ephemera making fun to fill up our pockets. I'm hoping to do both, so I'm hoping to fill all 6 pockets between the 2 pieces, but we shall see. We'll see how we get on. Kind of don't want to end up with a whole line of edges that line up, so I'm just trying to vary those edges. End up with some small scraps which we can use to plug any weird shaped gaps at the end if we have any. If not, I'll just go back into the bag for something else, maybe for layering up on a bit of ephemera. Now the text goes this way on that piece, so this one I'm going to put up the other way. Not that it really matters, but because they're quite separated. Right, we might actually use one of these pieces here, and the text is going in yet another direction, so that's cool. So food bank day today. It was a warm day yesterday. My gosh, it was so warm. So warm. It was 29 I think, 29 degrees or 28, I can't remember. It was warm. It was hot at the food bank. And the walk-in chiller was a very, very nice place to be. Unfortunately, the power was off. Because they were wiring up a new house on the property, and so the chiller was off, of course, and when the chiller's off there's no power to the light, obviously, so it's too dark, so I had to have the door open, one which isn't good for the chiller, you know, because it was so hot outside that it really warmed up in the chiller too much. That's preferable, but you know, there was no choice, just had to keep going. But it was still cooler in the chiller, even with the door open and not turned on, than it would have been standing outside for all the whole time. So it was very nice. Whenever I had to go into the chiller and grab something for a parcel or put the new food that came in away, it was a godsend. I do think it's not going to be quite so much fun in winter doing that. I think winter's going to be a whole different story when it comes to the chiller, but you know, I'll have my jacket and my gloves and all that jazz. Just going to pop that little bit in there. But yes, sometimes that chiller is a wonderful place to be. And then I always prepare the parcels. I get there early, prepare the parcels with all the dry stuff and as much as we've got on hand, and then set them aside until the fresh food comes in, so I can top them off with the fresh bread and the produce and that sort of thing. So I've usually got a bit of time in between when I've finished packing what I can pack and the food delivery. So yesterday when I had that time available, I don't want to, no, it's getting a bit too close to those patterns. Maybe it just needs to go here. I sat on the park bench outside, which was very, very warm, but it was okay. It was quite pleasant. I was in the shade, but very warm. And I sketched out a flower that was in a pot at the end of the park bench. So that was quite lovely. And then when I got home, or later that evening, I added ink to it, you know, went around my pencil lines with a black pen and erased the pencil sketch underneath. And yeah, I was rather pleased actually. It was a marigold. First time that I've drawn a marigold. Let's pop that there. We're almost done with this masterboard, and then we can get on to ephemera making. And I have now got the rest of the ephemera kit to play with. I went in to grab it off the printer this morning and discovered that it had run out of paper. The printer had run out of paper, so I put more paper in and pressed the button, and there were 2 pages that hadn't been able to print because it had run out. So I've got everything now. Okay, I can't put more of that because that's right there. We might have to dive into another piece of paper, I think. Oh, we could use a bit of this actually. That would be fine. And then we've got one gap. Can we find something from our scraps that will work without diving into a separate piece of paper? Do this first, and then we'll consider what we might have that will work. Yeah, so it was quite pleasant. So today, in that same kind of period in between the 2 tasks, I'm going to choose a different flower from the same plant to get a different look. You know, maybe one that's more open or more closed or different angle or something. I don't know. I'll look at that when I get there. Got a funny little pointy bit there, but I'm not worried about it. It just adds a bit of interest. And I'm getting glue marks on the front, so it tells me it's time to change out my glue page again. How many have we used so far? That's 4. That's number 4 on the glue pages. And who's it? Getting little gluey edges off the pages, you know, where you tear it off, littering my desk. Right, one little gap, my friends. What can we plug it with? We could do that. It's a little bit separated from that. We can't do this one, can't do this one. Got anything else up here? I think this is my best option from the existing scraps. Now I'm going to actually cover that little bit. It's very close. These are very close together, but they are not right next to each other, so I'm going to go with it. So last piece, and the masterboard is done. Just making sure there is a bit of a separation between those 2 bits of the same paper. I love it. I think it's turned out beautiful. It's cohesive. It's really lovely and a great base for decorating. Okay, let's put the lid on the glue stick, and I want to create 2 folding journal cards, double journal card if you like. Just got a little bit of overhang here. There we go, just tidying it up a little bit. So I think if I chop this in half, where do we need to chop it in half? Not that it needs to be precise, but I'd like a rough idea. So it's 11 3, not quite 11 3/4. So I think if we go 5 and 5, then we'll have a little strip left over, which is fine. Yeah, so actually not a bad strip. It's only got 2 bits of paper on it, but that's fine. It could be a belly band, a tuck, or I could chop it in to make 2 tags. So I'll put it aside for now. These I would like to let them dry a bit before I fold them. So I'm going to pop them over behind me. Let's grab these out. Is that going to... Just need to make sure they actually will fit and which pocket they're going in. So 8 1/4, so it's going to be 4 1/8 wide. I think they'll work in these front pockets, and height wise they'll be good. Or would we put them in these back pockets? Okay, they will fit in either. They'll go either in the front or the back pocket. So that's good to know. It just means I can work out what sizes I need to make things for to fill the pockets that they're not going in. So I think we'll start with this smallest pocket, and let's grab out the ephemera. Put all my scraps in a pile. Shift those out of my way. So we could just grab a piece of really cool ephemera, like one of these cards or something that will fit in that pocket. I'm thinking tag is where my brain's going for that side pocket. Just looking to see, I haven't had a chance to look at the pages I printed off. So we've got some really cool, beautiful decorative pieces, really cool labels, some beautiful fussy cuts, the little bunny, some beautiful owls. So we've got some pockets, we've got some large tags. Sorry, I hope I've been on camera there. So there's another large tag. I wonder if there's smaller ones. There's some cool tickets there, which are really cool. This really neat doily. That's pretty. Oh, and it's in different colours. So we have the white, the light blue and the dark blue. That's really cool. Banners and circles and decorative elements. That's pretty. That would be beautiful on the front of a journal, actually. Love that. There's an envelope. Some numbers. They're beautiful. Really, really pretty. So here's a smaller tag. Wonder whether it will fit. It might be too big still. So 3 by 5. I suspect it's going to be too big. We've got 3 inches as the depth of that pocket. So we wouldn't get it in. It would be too tight. That's okay. We could actually trim down that tag a bit. Why don't we do that? Oh, although I've only got one. I only printed one of each thing. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board then, and we'll just use a piece of ephemera. Like, how will that fit? These 2 sweet cards. Widthwise, yep. Okay, cut these 2 out. The 2 pockets don't have to be the same. I just think I will get more done if I kind of do the same thing in each of the pockets. It's going to take less brain space because I don't have to go back to the drawing board for each pocket to try and do something different. So choosing the same element is going to help me get both done. I hope. That is the plan. So it's going to be a little journal card in the front pockets rather than a tag. I was just checking that they weren't too small height wise. But no, they'll be fine. So again, I apologise for doing all the cutting on camera because I was not organised enough to do it ahead of time. If I get a bit of time tomorrow, because I'm home all day tomorrow, I hopefully will be able to knock some of the fussy cutting out, get it done. But I've got a list of things I want to achieve tomorrow as long as my arm. So this is probably one that, you know, it will be, if I feel like it, if I need a bit of a break from something else, then I might do a bit of fussy cutting. I suspect I might not get a look in, because there's so much I want to get done tomorrow. To have a Friday at home to myself. Now, I'm not sure what day this video is going up, so I might go up the day that I'm talking about, might go up on Friday. I don't know. So that goes in behind our little envelope tag flap thing there. Okay, so let's back these. What am I going to back them with? Actually, why don't we use some of the kit papers? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Another way to use up some of my scraps. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Right. So I think we've got a clear space there that's not sticky. So yeah, I've a rare day at home on a Friday, so I'm just really excited. So I'm not sure how much I'll realistically get done. I've got all the plans in the world, and I'm quite aware that I might just wake up and be so tired that I absolutely can't do anything. And if that's the way it is, well, I've just got to roll with it, because even though I'm trying to look after myself and trying not to push myself, I'm finding I still am. And yet I'm feeling guilty for the times when I'm not doing anything. And it's like my brain is still saying push, push, push. And my body's going, no. No, you're not doing that. Nope. And I'm like, but I'm just sitting here. I should be doing something. And it's in, you know, it's lost in that unable to move zone. And sometimes that's a bad thing, like when it's just, you know, when it is being lazy, when I am being lazy, it's not a good thing. But other times it's just my body saying, no, you need to take a break. You need to rest. It's really hard, guys, learning to know what's what. I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee, which is why I stopped doing things. It's like, I need a sip of my drink. Right, I'm going to try and cut these with the guillotine. Can I line them up nicely? I don't know. It's a bit risky, but it's not too bad. I will just think around them, and that will take care of any little white. I'd rather actually have a little bit of white around the edges than take too much, you know, cut into the design and lose some of it. So I'm being very careful where I line it up. Next Friday I will be out. I've got a lot on next Friday. I'm also looking forward to it, but because it's two of the things are social, and you know, that's good for me to have some social time. So I've got a meeting with some friends, catch up. Let's not call it a meeting, that sounds so boring. A catch up with a couple of friends in the morning for coffee, and then I've got a family lunch to go to at midday. So that will be lovely. And it's the first one for 2025. And then somewhere in amongst the day, I've got to get the grocery shopping done. And normally I would do that in the morning. So we'll see when I manage to get that done. I imagine it'll have to be either first thing in the morning. Just a bit of glue on the front there. It will dry fine. First thing in the morning, or do it after lunch. But lunch, typically you don't get back from lunch till like 2:30, and I don't really want to turn around and do groceries at that point of the day. Just, you know, just want to sit down and rest by that stage, because I find being around people, I enjoy it, but it's tiring. So I tend to come away ready to just have some quiet time and not go. I've got cat fur on my ink pad. How can I get it off without covering my fingers in ink? I need tweezers. Can I find my tweezers? Bear with me, guys, but I just don't want to continue on with that. They're all jammed up with other things, my tweezers. I've got multiple pairs. I just want to get that cat hair off there. These are really not good tweezers. My good ones are in there, I just can't see them. But anyway, we got that done. You know, I don't want to be turning around and facing the busyness of a supermarket and the noise and everything after a half day of socializing. I know, it's so bad, isn't it? So I think maybe I'll just like go out really early, which I don't like doing either, because it's when they restock the supermarket that I go to. That's the time they restock, and so the shelves are half empty. The other shelves have got the big steps and staff in front of them restocking, so to get to anything is really hard, and there's products that you just can't get that you need because they haven't restocked them yet, and it's just, you know, it's not ideal. But I think that's my preferred option over waiting and leaving it in the afternoon, because I know I won't feel like it. And the most joyous thing is I'll take my laptop, so in the afternoon I can put my headphones on and watch some YouTube and do some digital work of some description in the afternoon while I'm hanging out at hubby's work. So yeah, the freedom of the laptop is incredible, guys. It really is. So we just have to remember that this slides in behind that little envelope bit. You can take it off if you want. So that's going to go, and I'm just going to do as is. I'm not going to add anything else to these. I think they're really cute. They're lovely. They've got lots going on, and they don't need anything. So that's a little writing spot there, tucked in there, wee journal card. Right, let's work on these bits of masterboard now. They should be nice and dry. And then we can decide what pocket they're going to actually go in, whether we want them in the front or the back. Whoops. I will ink all around these, but I'll do it off camera. I'm not going to do them on camera because I've already done a bit of inking on the journal cards. Right, let's do a check on where we want them. Okay, so it is a bit tight in there, so I think they're going to have to go in the back. I could trim them down a bit, but if they fit in here nicely, then I won't. Perfect. They are perfect in there. So these are going in the back pocket. Beautiful. I'm going to round the edges using this one because it's a bit easier on thicker layers. This to use my envelope punch board. Whoops, got a little bit didn't work there. Okay, and this one. Go. Easy peasy. You could snip the corners if you prefer, or just leave them square is good too. Another wee sip of my coffee. Right, so I'm going to look at these. Okay, this one I feel you could write on that. I mean, you could write on any side, but I think this lends itself more than this side. This one, I think I'll decorate that as the front and leave the back like that so that it could be written on, or somebody could add a photo or something. Don't have to cover, you know, decorate every aspect, do we? Right, so what would we like to pop on the front? Do we want fussy cuts? I'm bearing in mind that if I choose fussy cuts, I'm going to have to cut it out on camera, as opposed to like a square piece. Oh, this is so pretty. Just spotted this. Can you see that? That is beautiful. It covers a lot of our front, but it's just so pretty. And maybe we'll use this sledding one as well, just so we're not hunting through endlessly through our papers. Right. I have to use this. It's just so gorgeous. A little church, I think it is. Yeah, it's got a cross on top of the steeple, and the floral and the birds and the lacy doily. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I love it. So pretty. So the versions of my multi-pockets that I made for my Patreon mail, they're going to be filled with different things. So they're not going to have the same sort of things in as what I'm doing for these ones. I'll use it as a holder for little bits and pieces to use for crafting, I think. I've already started putting things in them, but I might add a journal card or a tag or something as well. Not sure. For my mail tier peeps. I'll be really sad if it takes up, you know, if it doesn't fit or something on the front. So pretty. Love it. Love it, Michelle. Just gorgeous. So very much a winter theme. The kit is called Winter Bounty, so that shouldn't be surprising. And we are very close to autumn here in New Zealand now. It's going to be autumn officially by the calendar. Autumn starts on the 1st of March. So that's not very far away, is it? If you go by the solstice, then it's a lot further along. You know, it's not the 1st of March if you go by that method. I just go by the calendar one because it's what I grew up with, it's what I'm familiar with, and you know, it's easy to remember. Just find it easy to remember that 3 months in each season. So it's like we're in our 3rd month of summer, so that must mean that March is the beginning of autumn, and it is. March is my wedding anniversary month too, so it'll be 26 years this year. I don't know that we've got anything planned for it. We haven't discussed it. Of course, hubby had 3 weeks off over Christmas, New Year, so he won't have much in the way of holidays. I'm going to actually use tacky glue for this because I don't want to get any glue marks. We've got glue marks here which seem to have dried visible, and this will, when I put this on, it will cover them, so that's good. So I'm just going to avoid any gluey issues and use my tacky glue. So yeah, I don't know what we'll do for our anniversary. We had a wee holiday last year for our 25th, which was lovely, but I don't envisage that we'll have, or hubby will have, any holiday time to have a holiday for our anniversary, so might just be business as usual. Maybe a nice dinner, you know, home cooked dinner or something. Don't know, because we've got a few financial commitments between the hot water cylinder. We're still paying off our car. We're almost halfway through paying off the car. We've got the laptop, which we've only got a 1/3 left to pay on that, so that's brilliant. And what else was there? Oh, we've got to do the roof. So yeah, so we've got to save up to complete all of the roof job, It's repainting it, so it needs treatment before we can repaint it. It's got to be primed and, you know, all this stuff. So we've got to have money, particularly for the top coats of paint, because, you know, paint's not cheap, is it? Not that I've bought paint in a long time, but I imagine it's not the cheapest thing in the world, and a roof is a roof, you know, it's a reasonable sort of space to have to do. We don't think we need to replace any iron, which is good. You know, the corrugated iron, we've got a corrugated iron roof. Don't think we need to replace any, which is great, but we do need to, well, I'm saying we. I'm not doing it. No, hubby's doing it. There are some nails that need replacing. And yesterday we were given a whole lot of special roofing nails. So that was a real blessing. A whole box of them. So awesome. Awesome, awesome. And he gave them to us because my brother gave us insulation for under the floor because he works for a company that makes it. But then we had the opportunity to get the other insulation installed, so we didn't have to install it, and all done properly. So we didn't need the stuff that my brother had given me. So the guy who gave us the roofing nails, this is a really long story, but guy who gave us the roofing nails is currently building a sleep out for other friends of both of ours, and we gave him that insulation. So it's kind of like give and take, and we weren't expecting anything for it. It was like, yeah, great that the insulation we've got can be used by somebody else, especially friends. I think I might go, what colour? I think I want a darker one on this one. Let's go Winter Magic, because sledding down the snow just sounds so magical. Not something I've ever done, because we don't have snow like that here. And I've never been to a ski field in winter. I've been to a ski field in summer when there was no snow. It was just a lot of shingle. It was part of a school trip. But I haven't been to a ski field in winter, so I've never experienced that sort of snow. I wasn't allowed to go on the school trip back when I was at primary school, when everybody went. Put that there. Anyway, I distracted myself. Yeah, so it was just a real blessing to get the nails. And I'm sure he would have given them to us regardless of whether we had passed on the insulation, because that's just how things work in our church. You know, I've got this and I'm not using it. Can you use it? Great. So it's wonderful. I'm so happy that we could pass on the insulation. Also because it was taking up so much room in one of our smallest bedroom. It was stacked up to the ceiling, literally on top of the bed. It was just so annoying. And the smell of it, it's polystyrene, so when you get it in a small room that's enclosed all the time, and a bulk of it, it was just, you know, the odor of the polystyrene. Okay, I think apart from inking it, that's all I really need to do. I just think that is beautiful. So I'm not going overboard on the decoration. I'm not doing heaps of layers. We did do the masterboard, so there's already a lot of like patchworky interest there. Right, so this one, what do we want here? I think Winter's Beauty. Now what colour do I want it in? Maybe this dark blue. I don't think I want the black. I want the dark blue for this, because I think that scene is very beautiful. And I think these words match perfectly with the scene. Winter's Beauty. So yeah, there's still a lot going on, but it feels a lot calmer than what it did. My mother-in-law was to find out her plan, her palliative medical plan this week, but we haven't heard anything. So I'm not sure what's happening there, whether they've delayed it or whether they haven't got together everything, or whether it's just that my hubby needs to ring his mum. I think my hubby indulges a lot in avoidance when it comes to the whole cancer issue. It's like if I don't ring up, I won't find out any news, whether it's good or bad. I can just avoid thinking about it. I think that's what he's going through, and I can understand that. I could ring her myself, of course. I am going to go over that doily a bit, but unless I put it right up the top there, or down the bottom. I should have thought about that. I could have moved the piece up or down to allow for the word, but I'm going to put it at the bottom. But I feel like it's something my hubby should do. Yeah. I would if he asked me to do it for him. But yeah. I asked him last night whether he'd talk to her, and he said no. And I was like, okay, it's just your little reminder, without me saying you really should. It was just a reminder that, you know, give your mum a ring at some point. Okay, I don't really think it matters which one of these it goes in. Either would be fine. So I'm just going to pop them in. I will take them out and ink them before I take photos. Okay, how are we going on time, guys? Oh, we don't have much time left. We've got about 13 or 14 minutes. So they're definitely getting chunky. And another good reason why they are floating pockets, you know, you can take them out to write on the pages. They're not going to create lumps and bumps for writing, because you just take them out and then pop them back in. Right, so in this pocket here, there are a couple of the larger tags. I'm wondering if the larger tags would work well in them. So I need to find them first. If not, then we'll grab another piece of ephemera and make another journal card, because that is fine too. I think I need to bring these closer. So there was that one, and I think the next page, that one. Let's see if they're going to work. I think they will. I'm going to try and use the guillotine for some of this cutting. Not too worried if I cut slightly into the design, but I don't want to cut too much. That was close. I was looking at the edge of this pocket. I was like, can I get down between them? And I did. It's a fuel moment, that one there. It's like fuel. I managed to not compromise one or the other. So clever placement there, Michelle. No dramas. Right, and I'll get the wee corner bits by scissors. Right, and this one. Oops, that one's not the same. We need to take a bit more care on that one. Oops, that's not straight. What have I... Just straighten that up a bit. Wasn't lining it up properly. Right, the rest I think I'm going to have to do by scissors. Actually, now that I've done that, we can do the guillotine. My nose is running. I need to take care of it. Alright, just give me 2 seconds, or 5 or 10. Right. I'm going to double check that these fit in the pockets. They're going to be tall. Is that inner shoe? I would prefer them to not be taller than the pocket. So I'm going to trim some of the floral off the bottom. I don't want to compromise the arch at the top, but I think we can take off some of that floral at the bottom without too much drama. It's pretty, and we've got some cool scraps, but I would prefer to have the tag not poke out the top, because if we're attaching it with a paper clip or something on the top, then we don't want the tag to be clipped and then the pockets falling away. Do you get what I'm saying? Now I do need to back these, and they'll be easier to put in once I've backed them. Have I taken enough off? Yes, I have. Cool. Right. I don't think I've got a big enough scrap left to do both of those, so we're just going to grab, oh, what about that one? Lovely little polka dot. Let's back them with that. And there's a paler version, but I quite like this dark mid version, I guess. Mid-tone. Just want to trim the white off so I don't end up with a white border on the bottom of my tags. Just cutting very roughly here because we're running out of time. Just to avoid any accidents, so if I put them down in this corner, we'll be fine. Actually, I might use my 2 glue method. Put glue stick in the middle and tacky glue around the outside. Now, do I want to put a topper on these? Not sure. I think that again would give us the top issue. It might stick out too much at the top, unless it made it a very small one. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous owls. Snowy owls. I don't know if they are snow owls or barn owls or what they are, but they're beautiful. I don't think they're white enough to be snowy owls, but I really don't know what I'm talking about, so this one's a bit whiter, but I seem to remember seeing pictures of snowy owls where they're just all white, so that's what I'm going through my brain as to why these aren't snowy owls, but I'm quite possibly wrong, very possibly wrong. Okay, nice and curly because of the glue. They will flatten out fine. So I think I'm going to call it quits there. I'm not going to quite finish up. So I'm going to call it good. I will cut those out, ink around them, and they will pop in these pockets. I don't think I'll add a topper. but if I do, you'll see it in the photos on Instagram if you're on Instagram when the video goes up. I don't even think I need to add anything actually. I was thinking maybe a word, but I just love the scene. Like, the scene is so pretty. It's got a focal image. It's gorgeous. It's got a bit of text interest. I really don't think I am going to enhance it anyway. And also, these are a little bulky. I don't want to add, you know, it's an excuse. I'm using it. Okay, guys. So sorry we didn't quite get there, but I am going to call this a video. We've got a couple of minutes up our sleeves, but I know I just wouldn't get them finished. So we'll just say goodbye for now. Take care, my friends, and I'll catch you again soon. Have a great day. Bye.